everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, then welcome, obviously, and I hope that you can find something that you can take away from this October read that I'm doing for the lovely Virgos today. Just to let you know, if you are new, what I tend to do is premeditate on the cards, which then allows me to do my little added poetry twist at the end. So that's going to be on this card here, so I'm just going to remove that out the way until the end. And so yeah, without further ado, Virgs, this is just a general read really about what can be coming in for you, or what elements you may be working with in the months of October. So the first two cards that came out, and I am working with a collective here of the Good Tarot and the Wisdom of the House of Night, with which are both Colette Baron Reid decks, and I'll put the link below. And then I've got a random pull here with the affirmation, Goddess of the Moon affirmation by Terri Foss. So yeah, the first two cards then, my lovely Virgs, that came out for you, I had the Nine of Earth and the Nine of Fire. And when I was studying these cards, I felt like I was dealing with a partnership here in a business sense. So this is not going to resonate with everybody, but I studied these cards for quite a bit, and it was as it unfolds, you'll see really. But I just feel I'm picking up with two people here who have sort of ventured recently in some kind of business venture, or it's a partnership to do with a business venture. And we've got one person who's on the one side of the partnership who does all the paperwork, very good with the money side of things, and then the other person is the creativity person of this business that I'm picking up with. Whether it's a small cottage industry or whether it is actually, it could be some Virgos out there who are working, you know, for an organisation, but they're paired up with somebody. But as the reading unfolds, I just had to keep to this collective on this reading. As much as I looked at it and I was thinking, you know, could it have a spin on anything else? It couldn't. So this is only going to be for a message for certain people who can take this on board. So I've got two people here, whether they were on a friends link before and they decided to start up this little cottage industry, and one of them is dealing with all the paperwork and the invoicing and the bookwork side of things, while the other person is actually creating the things to sell. That's what I felt more so than anything, because then as I opened up the reading, I had High Priestess of Air and the Nine of Air, but then I had the Seven of Water. And the reason is, I picked up the High Priestess of Air because I just felt, as I said, it was a partnership that's been formed, like a cottage industry type thing, you know, like on a small scale at the moment, where somebody's creating or making something or painting or, you know, or doing something like that, and the other person is in charge of all the admin, the you know, taking care of the website and doing that kind of stuff behind the scenes. So it's like a partnership here. And as I pulled, these two cards came out together, the Nine of Air and the Seven of Water. And again, it's reflecting on this partnership that's been going on, because the Nine of Air to me is the person with the knowledge, the person who's dealing with the money side, the paperwork, the website, you know, that's that side of it. And then the other person is the creative person, who's the one who manifests all the things that they're creating, you know, to sell in this cottage business. Or, as I said, whether it's a project that two people are working on, and the one side, you know, is the person who stops in the office and does all the plans and the paperwork, while the other one's actually going out there with a hard hat on type thing and going out onto the sites and stuff and reporting back. But I felt more drawn, guys, to the aspect of it's a couple of good friends who've decided to venture, you know, like I said, in this small small business type venture, where one's dealing with the website, the money, the invoicing and everything else, while the other person's actually making the jewellery or doing the art or making, you know, the pots or whatever. I can just see one making something and one behind dealing with all the bookwork side, and it just came out in tandems. This did, and that's why this reading is not going to resonate with everybody, but I just have to go with it, you know, how it's unfolding. So then I had focus and Ace of Air, and with the Ace of Air, I just think it's like a new venture. It's a new venture that you're both focusing on. You know, everything, every bit of money, every bit time of your day. You know, it's just consuming you at the moment because you're getting it off the ground. That's what I felt with the Ace of Air. It's like it's your new baby, and you're launching it, and you're just getting it off the ground. You know, but there's so much focus gone on to get this in place for it to, you know, to take off now. And it is taking off, guys. That's what I feel. Your business, it may have been going on a couple of months, you know, it could have been 6 months, you know, on the 12-month scale even. But, you know, you've both focused on it. You've both given your all. You're both working as a collective. One's doing the creativity. One's running the website and doing all the bookwork side of things. And this business, whatever it is taking off. All this partnership, where I've got the other aspect where I said, you know, it could be like two people who've been partnered up to work in a corporate situation. You know, you've both gelled, really. And you work well together, that kind of a scenario. So I'm just going to open it up a little bit more, and we had the Messenger of Earth and the High Priestess of Water, and again the two coming out. This symbolises the, you know, the earth energy here of the one who's doing all the paperwork side, the website, the promoting, that kind of aspect of it, and then the other person is represented by this card here of the High Priestess of Water, because they're the very creative person. They're the ones who are the hands-on, the actual creating, making the stuff here, you know, doing the out and about, as I said, with the organisation side of it. They're the ones who actually go out and on the physical side. That's what I feel. So yeah, that's those cards covered, and then it came out with the Seven of Air and the Page of Water, and it ended with complicated. Now, this to me, as I was reading it, it was like to say, because the business is taking off, then there was like this. There's been like this. There's been this thought of bringing a third party in, right, into the mix, because it's like somebody, I feel like this is somebody else coming in, and they've got sort of a knowledge and input that they want to try and bring in, but the gut feeling that I was getting, one of you was for it and the other was against it. And when I look on the other side of the coin, with the ones who are working as a team in a collective, it's like your boss has come along and said, oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to split you pair up now. You've got to go and work with so-and-so, and you've got to work with them, and this other person's coming in. And it's like that side of it. But I just feel it's got a bit complicated, because one of you wants to bring extra people on board with new ideas, because I feel like, you know, the business is flourishing, but one of you's for it and one of you's against it. Now, I was asking, excuse me, I was trying to connect with Spirit on this to see which way you should go. And obviously, guys, for those who are in the corporate organisation, and your boss comes along and says, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to split you up. And it's like they're splitting you up at a pinnacle point of the planning, a pinnacle point of what you've been working as a team, you know, as a collective together. And I do feel on that side, you've got to turn around to whoever your boss is or whatever and say, no, you can't split us up now. We've done too much on this. So that's what the complication is on that side. And I do feel you will stay together. You know, you'll talk to your boss and he'll understand, or maybe no, I should leave them two together. That they're right. They've worked together on this, and they need to finish it off before I start moving stuff about. That's the one side of the coin. And then the other, where I feel it's the whole reading on this, the dominance of this reading, is this cottage industry type business with like two people, one creating, one dealing with the paperwork side. And there's been a talk of one of them trying to bring somebody else in on board. Now, the gut feeling I had off that when I was asking the question to Spirit was, it would be a mistake. It would be a mistake at this stage. It's about learning to walk before you run, or don't run before you can walk, I think the saying is. And it would make things really complicated, and arguments would start. The productivity side of things, where it's going along fine now, you two are working fine together, adding somebody else into the mix, I just feel on that score would be a big no-no. But obviously I'm only here to guide. At the end of the day, you've got to follow your own gut feeling of how you want to take your own business. I'm not saying you can't take people on later on, but at this critical stage, I just feel there's a reason why at this time, with the last 3 months of the year, I just feel get the financial year over, whether that's your January, where your new year, financial year starts, or whether it's April. I had a message sort of saying for that, wait till your financial year ends. Wait till your financial year ends so you've got all your facts and figures, and see what money you've got left in the pot really, before you start taking somebody else on where you're running before you're walking. That's what I felt. So I'm just going to quickly read one of the affirmation cards then. I'll just take out the main card on this, because I don't want that in there. So I'll leave that there. So yeah, so like I say, it was a really strong connection I got here with it went in tandem. It was just a tandem reading. So there is two people involved in this, and I can't change that. And I'm not going to change it, because I'm just going with, I can't change a message, what I'm being fed to me, guys. So yeah, I'm going to have that one because it's jumped in my hand. So let's have a look what we've got for you, Virgs. And we've got, I am letting go of what does not serve me for the better good. And I just feel here, this is like a cloche here. And it's like you've got your little world at the minute contained, and it's working in its own collective at the moment. But it's saying if you remove that cloche and you let the outside elements in, then that's when that's when things can get a bit turbulent. And on the side where I said about the organisation side, where you've got these two people, again, it's saying you've worked as a collective, the two of you under one roof have worked as a collective on this. And it's like you need to put that project to bed. You need to put that project to bed on that side before you pair can, move off and work with other staff members. But on the side with the people where I've got the two who are doing the cottage industry type thing, that this partnership here, it's saying you need to put that idea to bed. The idea of getting the third person in on your business, it's saying no, you've got to contain that. Just you two in there at the minute. You've got to put that idea to bed for now, because like I said, I do feel if you don't go, it's like seeing the season out. Like it's got this is like a winter scene here. So I feel like with the business side, you have your year end, don't you? You have a year end, and it's just a little message there saying no, don't take anybody on until that year end. Is put to bed. We can see what profit we've made. We can see how much we've got left in the pot before we decide. Because at the minute, it's not going to serve you. That third person is not going to serve you at this point in time. That's what I'm picking up, guys. So I'm only the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. So I want to read now the little bit of poetry that I had manifest when I was doing this reading for the Virgs. And it's got 2's company, 3's the crowd, don't run before you can walk, time to sit round the table for both of you to talk. The eggs that are in one basket you do not want to break, harness the magic between you, as 3 would be a mistake. So that message really is directly more focused to the people who are, you know, as the collective 2 running their own business. The message for the organisational trait of thought on this, it's basically saying the eggs are in one basket. The eggs that you have produced as a pair in the organisational, you don't want to break, because you've worked so hard on that project. If anybody came in that and they had no insight of you know, at the start of the project, they could easily break one of those eggs and break your hard work. That's what I feel on that. So I hope that you can pick something up from this, Virgs, whoever's tuned into this reading, because there's, you know, I hope that you can take something from that. And on these readings, I was just going to, so I like to try and you know, not try and keep my readings a little bit all the same. Like last month I did, I think I brought my ribbons into it. And this month I've got some little charms in here. And I just wanted to have a little rummage around and see what charm I pull out for you guys. So let's just have a look what we've got. And here we've got love. We've got the love here, and the love in this instance, I'll just hold it here so we can see it. The love in this instance is about listening to your heart, guys. Follow your heart, because with the partnership side, there is a lot of love there between, you know, how you've grown this business, and you should be proud of that. But it's saying, regarding this third person, you have got to listen to your heart here. So, well, actually, no, I'm going to change that for you guys. I'm actually going to change that, because one of you is listening to your heart in trying to get this third person on board. So yeah, for you guys then, not to confuse you with this charm, because it was like somebody was saying, no, you're getting the message wrong, so I've got to say it to her, they're telling me. Can't be naughty. So the people who have been doing the business, it's saying, don't listen to your heart for this third person that you want to bring on board. Don't listen to your heart, because it's not the right time. You've got to go with your mind on this. You've got to go with your mindset that you've got to make sure that the year ends out, then see how the land lies with your profit margins and whether you can collectively take that person on. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm feeling there. But with the organisational pair, it's going with your heart on that one. Going on with your heart to your boss and saying, we've put our heart and soul in this. We've put our heart and soul in this project, you know, and we want to see it through to the end. We want to see it through to the end. And that's why I feel that heart's come out for you guys. So yeah, I hope, as I said, Virgs, it's going to be an interesting October for sure, and it'll be interesting to see when I come and read for you in the November. And any comments below, if this resonates with anybody out there, big thumbs up from me, because I'd like to have some feedback, being such a new channel. So yeah, I just hope that you have quite an adventurous October, my lovely Virgs, whoever can take this on board, and I look forward to reading to you next time. Take care then, bye.